And now let's talk about the inauguration itself. From the time Parliament project has been conceived to its construction to now its inauguration, it has been dogged by controversy and chorus of protests. Multiple pleas in court against the new Parliament building were thrown out, and now that it's finally constructed, 20 opposition parties have decided to boycott the function this Sunday. Why? Because they say that the inauguration at the hands of the Prime Minister is an insult to the country's highest constitutional office, that of the President of India. The howls of protest now range from why isn't the President inaugurating the building, to why isn't the Speaker inaugurating the building, to why isn't the Vice President present. The gist, though, is that when the PM dedicates Parliament to people of India, 20 opposition parties will be a no-show.
इसका इनॉग्रेशन प्रधानमंत्री को नहीं करना चाहिए क्योंकि ये थियोरी ऑफ सेपरेशन ऑफ पावर्स का वायलेशन है। स्पीकर कस्टोडियन है लोकसभा का और स्पीकर को करना चाहिए।
सभी लोगों से बात हुई है हमारी और हम लोग जो है इसका हम लोग विरोध करेंगे, बॉयकॉट करेंगे। तो पहला सेशन हम लोगों का मानना है कि राष्ट्रपति जी जो हैं उनसे जो है उद्घाटन कराना चाहिए था।
एक नया इमारत बना के सिर्फ एक ऐसा हम कोनशिला लगाएंगे इनॉग्रेटेड बाय प्राइम मिनिस्टर नरेंद्र मोदी, इसके लिए खर्चा हुआ है। लेकिन वो भी ठीक है, लेकिन देश के राष्ट्रपति इस राष्ट्र के संविधान की प्रमुख है। नए संसद भवन का उद्घाटन करना ये प्रोटोकॉल है।
The strange thing is that these same parties have conveniently forgotten their own ribbon-cutting history. If the argument is that the President alone should inaugurate Parliament building because she is the constitutional head, then the parallel argument at state level would be that any assembly building should be inaugurated by the governor, right? But take a look at these pictures. In 2020, the foundation of the new assembly building at Chhattisgarh was laid. Whose name do you find on the foundation stone? The governor? No, not quite. In fact, the foundation stone bears the name of Mrs. Sonia Gandhi and Mr. Rahul Gandhi, both of whom are just members of Parliament of the Congress and hold no post in Chhattisgarh at all. Now take a look at West Bengal and how the Platinum Jubilee Memorial Building at the State Assembly there was inaugurated. Again, not by the governor, but by the Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee. In fact, in both places, the respected governors' names weren't even featured on the plaques at all. And that's the reason why the very topic of inauguration has now divided the opposition down the middle. Countering the 20 boycotters are parties like the YSRCP, Akali Dal, TDP and BJD who've decided to attend the ceremony in deference to India's democracy. But this also raises the question about whether this boycott, claiming an affront to President Droupadi Murmu, is a matter of principle or mere churlishness.
The country is going to get a new parliament, and it's a matter of pride for all the Indians. So Shromani Akali Dal will definitely attend the ceremony which is going to happen on 28th.
The News Hour at 10, debate number 2 on Times Now, Super Prime Time.
Shehzad Poonawala, national spokesperson of the BJP, joins us. Kapil Kumar, historian and author. Tausifur Rahman, TMC spokesperson. A Saravanan, spokesperson of the DMK. Vivek Bansal, senior leader of the Congress. Let me actually start with you, Mr. Saravanan, because I gave a number of examples. I gave the example of Chhattisgarh. Yes. I gave the example of West Bengal. But I want to quote to you another example, because in March 2010, former Prime Minister Manmohan Singh declared open the world's first green legislature building. And you know what it was? It was the Tamil Nadu Legislative Assembly Secretariat Complex at the Oman-Thurar government estate in the presence of the then State Chief Minister, Mr. Karunanidhi. The governor didn't do it, the Prime Minister did it. And Mr. Karunanidhi was present, and guess who else was present? Mrs. Sonia Gandhi. Why didn't you boycott this? When the assembly building was thrown open by the Prime Minister, why didn't the governor do it?
Padmaja, do you really think that the governor and the president are equal by the standards of our constitution?
In the state, yes. The equivalent of the president would be the governor, right? In the state, the equivalent of the president would be the governor.
As a lawyer, I can tell you, no, as a lawyer, I can tell you it's not so. Because the president is elected, the governor is nominated by the union government. The governor can be dismissed any time by the union government, whereas the president goes on forever. The president is the first citizen. Does the prime minister, does the president of our country not have the grace? She's the epitome of grace. Why she's not invited? See, the BJP government speaks about Nari Shakti, the Prime Minister speaks...
So just out of curiosity, the governors don't have any grace. The governors weren't present at any of these inaugurations, sir, including your assembly complex inauguration.
I am talking about Madam Droupadi... Yes, Padmaja, I am talking about Madam Droupadi Murmu, the first citizen of our country. She's belonging to, a tribe, scheduled tribe, and
I know that, sir.
Hard work. She
doesn't need any citations. Obviously, she is a very accomplished lady. My question is very simple to you. In 2010, when your assembly building was inaugurated, why wasn't the governor invited? Does the governor not deserve respect? If that is your argument, that by the president not inaugurating parliament building is a disrespect to her, then by you not inviting the governor in 2010 to inaugurate, did you disrespect the governor?
Yes. See, as I told you earlier, the president and the governor are not same in the constitutional scheme of things. If the BJP is going to place this argument, oh, look at the governor, he has not been invited, so we are not inviting the president. Let them do that at their own peril. Any house, if it does not have love, compassion, respect and trust, it is only a matter of bricks. The same goes to the parliament house also. The parliament is given its respect. It's called the temple of democracy, not because it is built in a grand way. It is given that respect because it voices the voice of the 1.4 crore Indians. That is the reason. But those voices are cut out.
False comparison between governor and president. First answer that.
You want to be the only person there on the frame, picture frame. Then we are saying we will boycott that.
Okay. Shehzad Poonawala.
May I? There is obviously a temple of democracy, but let me now give you exhibits of the mother of hypocrisy. Sir, Saravanan, whom did you vote for in the election in Droupadi Murmu versus Yashwant Sinha? Yashwant Sinha. So much for respect for Droupadi ji. Now, question number 2. You said governors are not elected, president is elected. Correct. So, by that logic, when it comes to the inauguration of the new parliament building, why speaker? Why not the chairperson of Rajya Sabha? He's the vice president who's also elected, not selected. Then why should only speaker do it? Why not the chair of the Rajya Sabha? I'll tell you the reason why. The reason is that when we talk about the constitution, and you've read it more times than me, but we both come to the same conclusion, there are 3 organs of government: legislative, executive and judiciary. The executive, in a sense, is represented by the president. The legislature is represented by the speaker, by parliament. And who sits in the parliament? The prime minister, not the president of India. And therefore, it is absolutely correct for the prime minister to be invited by the speaker, constitutionally speaking. And if it was not so, then Prime Minister Manmohan Singh was wrong when he inaugurated, forget parliament buildings, assembly buildings. Then Prime Minister Indira Gandhi was wrong. Prime Minister Rajiv Gandhi was wrong. You should take all that stand also. And you should say the governor was insulted. And you should say that the then president during Indira Ji's time was insulted. But having said that, I am shocked at Mr. Saravanan today. Mr. Saravanan, even as YSRCP supports the new parliament, even as BJD supports it, you know what you are boycotting? A piece of Tamil culture being represented in the temple of democracy. Today, that Sengol represents Tamil culture in a sense, and today you are boycotting that piece of Tamil culture which the great C. Rajagopalachari ji had also made Nehru follow. Today you are boycotting that. Imagine in the chase of this false pseudo secularism and hatred for Modi, you have reduced yourself into hatred for Tamil culture, which is getting the prime position in our temple of democracy.
Respond, Mr. Saravanan, then I want to bring in Professor Kapil Kumar.
Yeah. Padmaja, yes, Padmaja Sengol alone does not represent Tamil culture. Tamil culture is far more wider, it has got far more acceptance. Let me tell you how the BJP tried to shatter Tamil culture. We had Kiladi, where we say that is the mother of civilization when it comes to India. What did the BJP do with Kiladi? They tried to stall that because they don't want Tamil culture to take pride. How they imposed Hindi on us and tried to destroy Tamil culture. Let them not preach about Tamil culture. Stop that with your North Indian audiences. Don't do that with the state of Tamil Nadu.
So you don't
just
want
one Sengol does not represent that. Fine, you want to go ahead with the Sengol procedure, please go ahead.
Are you supporting it or are you opposing it?
That doesn't mean that you are representing your epitome. Every single act done by the BJP is
Professor Kapil Kumar wants to respond to you.
Against the people of Tamil Nadu. Please don't ask. Please don't claim that you are doing something for the people of Tamil Nadu, because you will never ever do that, because you will not have any electoral gain.
Okay, Professor Kapil Kumar responding to you. Professor Kumar.
You see, please, I request that I have not interrupted anyone, and when I speak, I should not be interrupted by anyone. This speaker who's defending this boycott has made two very important statements. One, he says that the parliament is the temple of democracy, and second, he's talking of the respect to the president. I have on these two statements two questions to him. One is, this temple of democracy, why it was converted by Congress during emergency, which rectified emergency and killed democracy in this country. Then it was not a temple of democracy, that parliament under Mrs. Gandhi at that time, when it rectified emergency. My second question to him is, good, they are now respecting the president. Fine. If they respect the president's position, then why do they boycott the president's address to the parliament? When the president is addressing the parliament, why did they boycott the address to the parliament? That time she was not the president for them. That time she was to be insulted. Her address was to be insulted of the addressing both the houses of the parliament. So these double standards won't do. Their problem is today that, keeping in view 24 in mind, they think that anything they can do, they can get away with. Who inaugurated the parliamentary library? Who inaugurated the parliament annexee? You have given herself your examples to him of the state assemblies. He is making comparison that constitutionally governor is not elected and president is elected. Governor is also appointed as per the constitution of India and heads the state. It is not that someone nominates the governor like this. Have some knowledge of constitution, gentlemen, and then make on arguments.
And let me quote more examples now. Go on, Mr. Vivek Bansal. One question asked to you is, when you boycott the president's address, then you don't consider it disrespect to her. When Mr. Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary calls Droupadi Murmu ji Rashtrapatni and never is any action taken against him, that is not an insult to President Droupadi Murmu. But when the parliament is inaugurated by the Prime Minister, she gets insulted. Is the governor also insulted? For example, when in December 2011, you had again the Prime Minister inaugurating new buildings in Manipur's capital, Imphal, including the newly built State Assembly complex. The number of inaugurations that our former Prime Minister has done, from Manipur to Bihar to Tamil Nadu, and this picture, respond to this picture, Chhattisgarh, not the governor but members of parliament, Mrs. Sonia Gandhi and Mr. Rahul Gandhi. Why? Why are Mr. Rahul Gandhi and Mrs. Sonia Gandhi inaugurating, or why are their names on the foundation stone of the assembly building of Chhattisgarh? Are they the governor of Chhattisgarh, Mr. Bansal?
Well, Padmaja, let me start with your first question you asked, that why Congress decided to boycott the address of the President of India. It is the address of the media is a political address, replicating the voice of government and their policies basically. So it cannot be equated with this, the fact that the President of India is not inaugurating. It is not, you cannot draw a parallel with this. These are two completely
why, sir? It's a constitutional office. If the inauguration is the only way to give respect, then the governors of our state should be inaugurating everything, especially in assembly building. Just using, by the way, let me make it very clear. I think the Prime Minister inaugurating assembly building like Dr. Manmohan Singh did is not an insult to the governor. But I am just using your logic on you. Your logic.
No, I am not saying that it is an insult to anybody, but it would have been more appropriate that President of India should have inaugurated because President of India is basically the head of she represents the executive, head of the executive authority, represents both the houses when their joint meeting takes place. President of India addresses that. From that perspective, we say that President of India should have inaugurated. Secondly, as far as you are saying, Governor, I would again repeat the same thing. Governor's role and authority cannot be equated with the authority of the President of India. And definitely keeping this thing in view that of late, CMs and governors are completely at dagger's dawn if these sort of
Sir, leave everything else aside. Just answer me one thing. In what capacity did Mr. Rahul Gandhi's name get put on the assembly building's inauguration plaque? He is a member of parliament. He's got nothing to do with Chhattisgarh. He's got nothing to do with the assembly.
So now he's disqualified.
As far as, you see, names are printed if whosoever is present at that time of the inauguration.
But then why wasn't the governor present? But tons of people present.
I said it, Governor. These days, what is happening? You pick up any state's example. By and large, if a different party is ruling there is bound to be a tug of war between the governor and the
okay, sir, with the greatest of respect, it really seems like you're clutching at straws right now, looking for justification for why Mrs. Sonia Gandhi and Mr. Rahul Gandhi's name is there in the Chhattisgarh Assembly's plaque. Quick rebuttal from Shehzad Poonawala. Yes.
First of all, Vivek ji, the current parliament, the old one, was inaugurated by an Englishman. At least ये तो भारतीय कर रहा है. ये तो लड़ाई है ना प्रेसिडेंट प्राइम मिनिस्टर की, वो तो विदेशी करके चला गया. अब सर पूरा सुन लीजिए विवेक जी. आई डिड नॉट इंटरप्ट यू. सेकेंडली, आपकी कहते कहते बात निकल गई. प्रेसिडेंट हेड्स द एग्जीक्यूटिव, but the two houses don't come under executive. The two houses of parliament come under legislature. So this is basic constitution civic. So I don't know what you're trying to say. You yourself considered that she's the head of the executive, and this is a matter of the legislature, and who sits in the legislature. And therefore I say, sir, you should accept it with grace. And by the way, Ram Gopal Yadav has supported. Now you please tell me कि Ram Gopal Yadav एक चाचा जी से तो लड़ते ही थे, शिवपाल जी से, अब तो दूसरे वाले भी आ गए, तो दूसरे वाले चाचा जी को क्या समझाएंगे? He's from Samajwadi Party. He is also saying that this is wrong issue.
And it's not just him. Parties like the YSRCP, TDP, Akali Dal, BJD, they are all saying Tawseefur Rahman, this is a matter of national pride. And what is happening right now just seems like nitpicking. And as far as people who are saying that the comparison between the governor and the president is a false equivalence, let me quote to you, under the constitution, governors of states have authority to summon and prorogue the house and dissolve the legislative assembly under Article 174, just like the President of India. So that comparison is not false equivalence at all. Tawseefur Rahman. So if Mamta ji can inaugurate a building in West Bengal, the Prime Minister can also inaugurate Parliament. And everyone would have been okay with it, except that you need an excuse to boycott. Tawseefur Rahman.
No, definitely. The comparisons already started. I knew they will compare. The Modi government will obviously they will compare, and Shehzad is sitting there. So according to Modi government, if Nabanna was inaugurated by the CM and it had become a heinous crime, I want to know, Shehzad bhai, आप लोग क्यों कर रहे हैं ऐसे फिर? आप लोग को तो ये heinous crime, ये तो गुनाह नहीं करना चाहिए था. आप लोग को तो follow करना चाहिए था. You people should follow the article and the sections and everything. But I'll tell you again, when you are quoting something with the article and constitution, the Constitution of India states in Article 79, there shall be a parliament for the union which shall consist of the president and two houses to be known respectively as the Council of State and the House of the People. The president is not only the head of the state in India, but also an integral part of the parliament. She summons prorogues and address the parliament as well. Now, why you want to do that heinous crime by avoiding
It is not a heinous crime. That's the point.
You know,
you did the right thing by inaugurating the State Assembly of West Bengal, and so can the Prime Minister do it to Parliament, sir. That is the point. The point is to point out your hypocrisy. When you do it in West Bengal, it's great. When the Prime Minister does it, it's an insult to the President. Makes no sense, right? And by the way, Nitish Babu has done it. Manmohan ji has done it. Didi has done it. Karunanidhi ji has done it. All of you have done it in states.
And let me tell you what was the heinous crime that we were referring to. Here is a picture of Mamata Banerjee, not even... 1 second, sir. Tausif, 1 second. Just 1 second, then you answer consolidatedly. It's a question you posed to me, you answer consolidatedly. This is a picture of Mamata Banerjee snubbing Jagdeep Dhankar, the then governor. There are basic courtesies and protocol followed in a democracy. This is what we were saying is not right. Nobody is snubbing the president here. This is a picture of Mamata Banerjee. Jagdeep Dhankar is holding his hands and giving her salutations. She has walked off as if she is queen. This is what is being said. So you should be the last person talking about respect for constitutional authorities.
He was not acting like a governor.
And now there you go. What is acting like a governor? Tomorrow you will say he was not acting like president. Okay, why did you boycott her opening speech?
He should act like a governor.
Why did you boycott Droupadi
He shouldn't be going in Jadavpur and standing in front of the gate ki hum ladenge. This is the problem. Okay. This is a very good question you brought. He should act like a governor with full respect.
Your answer sounds that the rules change according to my convenience.
When the soul of democracy has been sucked out from the parliament.
We began with you arguing for respect to be shown to constitutional posts, and now you say that this is okay because the person wasn't acting like a governor. Let me also remind you that your member of parliament also referred to the then governor of West Bengal as Uncle Ji. So when we talk about respect and lack of it simply because the Prime Minister chose to inaugurate the parliament building, also remember your own past behavior in your own ribbon cutting and how you have treated governors in your own states. The rest, as they say, is politics. Thanks very much, all gentlemen, for joining me.